Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So today we are sitting down and we are doing the Drugstore Makeup Brand Tag. This was created by Jen Phelps. I will have her video linked down below for you guys to check out in case you have not seen it yet. But she actually just recently created this tag video like within the past week or two. And when I saw her upload that video and I watched it, I was like, yes ma'am, I am doing that tag video. I love tag videos. I think they are so much fun to just sit down, answer questions, take a look at my collection, and really think about the makeup that I own and the brands that I've tried, all of the above. I just think they are so much fun. Before we get started, first of all, if you like this eye look, it is the very first look that I did with my Natasha Denona Zendo palette for my 1 week 1 palette. I am in the process of filming that for you guys. This video will be up before that video, but just like keep an eye out for that video very soon. Also, don't forget I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday for you guys. If you like this video while you're watching it, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. It really does help me out. And other than that, if you're excited and you want to hear my answers to the Drugstore Makeup Brand Tag video, then let's go ahead and get started. Alright, number one is the brand that has the best packaging / like luxury vibes. When you look at them, you just think like, ooh, is that Drugstore? Or is that just like a high-end brand? And I chose Flower Beauty for this. I do not own a lot by Flower Beauty, but the products that I do own from them and the products that they have, I just think their vibes and their packaging are just very beautiful. A lot of them are pretty simple and simplistic, but they have like white with accents of gold and they just look luxurious to me. They have a really good price point. I mean, they are a little bit higher in the spectrum than like, let's say Wet n Wild or NYX, although NYX is getting pretty pricey, not gonna lie. Wet n Wild or Elf, but I don't know, I feel like their prices are really not that high, and for what you are getting, I don't know, I just feel like they have very nice packaging. It always looks very crisp and clean. My experience from the couple of items that I have owned from them, they work very well. They don't fall apart, they don't like feel chintzy or anything like that. And yeah, I just feel like they have very cute packaging. I love the overall vibe of the whole brand, and it gives me luxurious vibes. Number two is the brand that has the worst packaging, and Jen also said this brand, and when she said it, I was like, yes, I 1,000,000% agree with that, and that is Physicians Formula. They have the bulkiest packaging I have ever seen in my life. The butter bronzers, the butter blushes, anything part of their butter line is just so bulky. I actually don't even own any of the Physicians Formula's makeup to show you the packaging, so I'm gonna be popping up pictures here, but like, their packaging is like this thick. It doesn't fit in any organizers. It's like this big around. It's just bulky. It opens up and has a brush underneath that like probably no one uses. I mean, maybe some people do, but probably not. Even their like eyeshadow palettes and face palettes, they are just always so excessively bulky and huge and don't ever fit anywhere. I've never owned a face palette, but I just have never been inclined to buy one because of the packaging. It's just so much. It's just so much extra space and product, and it's always so thick. And I don't really love the butter bronzer in general, like the formula. But another thing that deters me from that makes me not like it even more is just the thick, bulky packaging. It's just unnecessary. Yeah, Jen said this, and I definitely wholeheartedly agree. Physicians Formula, I feel like if they just streamlined it and make their packaging a little bit thinner and just a little more compact, people would love it even more. And there's already so many people who love the butter bronzer and swear by it, but I feel like people would be even more inclined to try it, try their blushes, their highlights, all of the above, because it just takes up too much room, man. It takes up too much room. Number three is a brand that makes you want to buy everything or like the most exciting drugstore brand to you. And I definitely chose e.l.f. Cosmetics for this. I own a lot of e.l.f. Cosmetics. I have bought a lot of their brand new launches. I bought their new CC cream a while ago and did like a full wear test and review. I can link that in the eye and down below for you if you missed it. It was a while ago, so if you missed it, I understand. I have a lot of their blushes. I have some of their like bite-size eyeshadow palettes. I bought their Mint Melt collection when it came out a couple months back. I can also link that video in the eye and down below for you. But it's just, I don't know, whenever e.l.f. comes out with something, it always intrigues me. It always makes me take a second look. I'm always excited for what they have coming. I did buy a couple of the things from the Jen Atkins launch, so I'm excited to try those out. And yeah, I don't know, something about e.l.f., they have just been able to improve so much. That is a question later on, but I didn't pick e.l.f. for that question. But I feel like thinking back to when they first started and I first started using them back in like high school, to now, their packaging, their formulas, their vibes, everything they're releasing, they have just amped it up and stepped it up so much while not increasing their prices too much. Yes, e.l.f.'s prices have gone up immensely since they first started. I mean, literally they started out at like literally $1. The most expensive thing was $3. But the fact that they have been able to keep their prices so low over the last decade, 15 years, and just come out with bomb amazing products that perform so well. e.l.f. always gets me excited whenever they release something. I'm like, do I need that? Am I gonna buy that? Should I try that? Because I kind of feel like I need to buy everything. Number 4 is the most boring brand to you. And you know what? I had to go with Revlon for this. I literally cannot remember the last launch that Revlon had that I was excited for. And really the only thing that's caught my eye recently is their like Skin Lights highlight. A couple people have been saying that it's like a dupe for the Amrezy highlight. So I would like maybe be intrigued to try that. But they even just came out with new like 4-pan eyeshadow palettes, and they came out with like 8 different ones, and literally not one of them has been like screaming to me to like try it out. Their foundations, like, I'm sure they have mascaras, right? I just feel like nothing from Revlon like ever jumps out at me, speaks to me. I never really even hear about them. And then when I do hear about them, I'm never really excited for what they launch. So like, do they have complexion products? Do they even have like blushes and bronzers and stuff? I don't know. I'm gonna have to go do some research on Revlon after this video. But yeah, I'm like never excited for Revlon. In the section, whenever I go to like Walmart or Target or Ulta, I'm never like, ooh, what's going on in Revlon land? Like, should I buy all this? Like, no, I'm just like, okay, bye. So yeah, Revlon's definitely pretty boring in my eyes, not gonna lie. Okay, number 5 is the brand that you think is most inclusive. So I have a little like caveat to this. I feel like some people aren't going to think that this brand is technically drugstore, and I picked Juvia's Place. So when I think of like a drugstore brand, I think of any brands that you can get at the drugstore side of Ulta. So that includes ColourPop, Juvia's Place, I can't think of any other ones now off the top of my head, but I know that you can't get like ColourPop or Juvia's Place at Target, Walmart, Walgreens, anything like that. So I don't know if everyone considers Juvia's Place a drugstore brand, but I did for this video sake. So for the most inclusive brand, I did pick Juvia's Place. They seem to have like a really great shade range in their stick foundation, their liquid foundation, and then their concealers. I tried their liquid foundation and concealer, and I personally didn't love it on my skin. It just really emphasized dryness and did not wear well or look good on my skin. However, I know a ton of people who really love that foundation and concealer, and they just have like so many shades. Even their setting powder, I feel like has like 8 shades or something like that. So not only do their complexion products have like a really good inclusive range in my eyes, but also I think their eyeshadows do too. They have so many different palettes, different color stories that would work with so many different skin tones. They have like light eyeshadow palettes that would work for fair. They have colorful eyeshadow palettes that would work for everyone. They have deeper, tone eyeshadow palettes that would work for deeper skin. And then they've recently came out with blushes and bronzers, and even those seem to have a really great shade range as well. So I definitely think Juvia's Place is very inclusive. It kind of makes sense because they are owned by a Black woman. So she probably was like, yeah, we need to be inclusive and include everyone, which I think is amazing. But yeah, I just really think that their shade ranges are really awesome, and I think that more brands need to like take a look at Juvia's Place and be like, oh, if you can have this many shades and everything, then so can we. The next one is the brand that you've been using the longest. I thought for a second that this was going to be e.l.f., but honestly, I think it's Maybelline. I have been using Maybelline for so long, like junior high, high school, and then I started getting into e.l.f. like later in high school and then college and stuff like that. But I have been using Maybelline like since I started wearing makeup, and I started wearing makeup in like 7th grade. I have just used them forever. I really genuinely love Maybelline. I feel like I don't use them as much now as I necessarily used to. Now that I'm like branching out, trying new brands, I can afford a couple more brands than I used to be able to in high school. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I've been using Maybelline for a really long time, and there's a couple products from them that I just genuinely love so much. I used to love their matte and poreless foundation. I went through like 3 or 4 bottles of that back in the day. Their Maybelline Fit Me powder is one of my favorite setting powders ever. Their City bronzer is like one of my favorite bronzers ever. So yeah, Maybelline is my OG. I've been using it for a long time, and I don't ever plan on stopping. I love that brand. The next one is an affordable online brand that you would like to see come into drugstores. So I didn't really have like an online answer for this, I went ahead and chose Believe Beauty. They are technically like a drugstore brand, but they're only available in Dollar General, and I don't know why. I wish they were available in other places like Walmart, Target, Walgreens, CVS, even, I mean, I don't know if they'd ever really come into Ulta, but I would even like to see them in Ulta. I've only gotten a chance to try one thing from them, and that is their Believe Beauty like skin finish foundation, and it was only $5, and I was so blown away by that foundation. It's literally an amazing foundation, has amazing coverage, wears so well, looks so nice on the skin, and it's literally $5. But not everyone has a Dollar General around them, so they can be accessible to order that. And when you go on Believe Beauty's website, it literally says like available in stores at Dollar General, so you can't even order it online from what I have seen. So I just think that's like, they're just really missing, I feel like, an opportunity, because the one item that I've tried by them is bomb and so affordable. And I've had friends on my Instagram account try other things by them. They have like blushes and primers and mascaras and stuff like that. And I've heard really good reviews about that brand, like other products from them. So I personally need to go in my Dollar General sometime soon and probably pick up a few more things to try. But yeah, I just wish that they were available in other places besides just Dollar General. Number 8 is a brand that surprised you in a good way, and that's definitely Pixi Beauty. Again, I don't know if everyone's going to consider Pixi a drugstore brand, but they're available at Target and Ulta. But I love Pixi Beauty. I have talked about them multiple times on my channel. Their eyeshadows are amazing. They have one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes ever. I probably should have pulled out my makeup to like hold up and talk about that when I'm talking about these brands. I'm sorry, guys. I have one of it's like their eye reflection eyeshadow palette. That's like one of my favorite palettes ever. They have face quads that come with a bronzer, a blush, and 2 highlights. And I have tried that multiple times, and they always impress me. And then also their lipsticks, their liquid lipsticks. Oh my goodness, Pixi has one of the best liquid lipstick formulas I have ever tried. But they just go onto your lips so nice, so smooth. They don't emphasize dryness or lines or anything like that, and they actually last. They don't like crack off or flake off. They fade a little bit on the inner part of your lip, that like every single solitary liquid lipstick on earth probably does, but they're not like drying or uncomfortable at all. When I started receiving PR from Pixi, because I do get PR from Pixi, I do buy, you know, things with my own money, but I do get things sent to me. I was so excited, and I was expecting to like the products, but not as much as I do, if that makes sense. I don't know why. I just never really, I feel like Pixi isn't really a brand that a ton of people talk about all the time, other than their Glow Tonic. I know that gets a ton of hype, which that stuff is bomb. But I don't know. I feel like I just don't hear a lot of people talking about Pixi's makeup. And from what I have tried, I really like them. So they're definitely one that surprised me in a good way. Number 9 is the best, most affordable brand, and I could not choose. I couldn't choose. I have 3, sorry. I have L'Oreal, e.l.f., and Maybelline. I just love all of those brands. When I think about them and I think about the products that I have from those brands, they are just some staples, some of my favorite products ever that I legitimately would not want to not own, not have in my collection. So I like couldn't pick one. Maybe of those 3, I would pick e.l.f. just because I feel like I have the most things from e.l.f. and I've been using them. Well, I've been using all 3 of those brands for a really, really long time. I can't choose. I just can't choose. I'm sorry. Alrighty, and number 10, the last question is a brand that has improved the most in your eyes. And I chose Wet n Wild for this. Wet n Wild is a brand that has been around forever. I've been using Wet n Wild for a really, really long time too. But I remember when I was younger and I didn't have like any money because I was like in high school, I was using, you know, products like Maybelline and L'Oreal and e.l.f. And Wet n Wild was always there as an option and was always super, super affordable. It still is insanely affordable. But I feel like I never was interested in anything from Wet n Wild like back in the day when I was in high school and college. I never really used them. I never really wanted to use them. I would pass them by in Walmart and be like, I didn't like the packaging. I didn't like the products. And now I freaking love Wet n Wild. I think Wet n Wild is awesome. They have really great setting sprays. Their Mega Glow Highlight and Blossom Glow is like chef's kiss, one of my favorite highlights to ever exist. I've heard really good things about their brand new launches, like their tinted hydrator, like moisturizer, tinted moisturizer kind of thing. I want to give that a go. And they are another one like e.l.f. who has been able to keep their prices really low. Like I feel like drugstore prices are slowly creeping up. NYX is getting more expensive. L'Oreal is getting more expensive. But I feel like e.l.f. and Wet n Wild have been really good about keeping the prices low, very, very affordable, but still providing really awesome quality products, if that makes sense. There are some duds I've tried from Wet n Wild. I tried their Photo Focus foundation and it did not work out for me. And then I also tried their Photo Focus setting powder that oxidized and made me look so dry, and I hated that powder. So I'm not saying like everything from Wet n Wild is a hit for me, but thinking back to them when I was younger and I literally never wanted to try anything, and then now thinking about them and I'm intrigued and I want to try things and I want to buy things, and a couple of their items are like my staples that I love. They have just improved so much in my eyes, and I am glad. I hope they keep improving, and I hope I keep loving them. And that was it, you guys. That was my answers to the Drugstore Makeup Brand Tag. Thank you so much to Jen for creating this tag. I think that it is so fun. I love when people create tag videos. I know I said that in the intro, but I just think they are so much fun. So thank you to Jen for that. Like I said in the intro, I will leave her video linked down below so you guys can check it out. Anyone else who has a YouTube channel and wants to do this tag, I invite you to do so, because I would love to hear your guys' answers as well. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. You're awesome and I love you. Please subscribe if you have not yet, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye, guys.